When people think about Fox News, they usually picture intense political debates, strong opinions, and familiar faces delivering headlines night after night. These anchors and commentators have become some of the most recognizable figures in American media, shaping conversations and influencing millions of viewers. But while their professional lives play out loudly on television, their personal lives often remain far from the spotlight. Behind the studio lights and carefully crafted on-air personas are relationships filled with love, loyalty, strain, sacrifice, and at times, controversy. Just like anyone else, Fox News stars go home to partners who support them, challenge them, or share in the consequences of their public careers. Some of these relationships began long before fame arrived, growing quietly over decades, while others formed in the middle of political storms and media attention. A few couples have stayed together through scandals, lawsuits, and intense public criticism, while others have seen their marriages collapse under pressure. What makes these relationships especially fascinating is how closely they are tied to power, politics, and public perception. In some cases, spouses played key roles behind the scenes, offering emotional stability, while their partners faced nonstop scrutiny. In others, relationships themselves became newsworthy, sparking rumors, headlines, and endless online debate. Viewers are often surprised to learn that some Fox News personalities are married to people far removed from politics, such as business executives, media professionals, or private individuals who prefer to stay out of public view. On the other hand, some relationships link Fox News figures directly to political dynasties, legal battles, or elite social circles, blurring the line between personal and political life. These partnerships reveal a more human side of figures who are often seen as one-dimensional on television. They show how ambition can affect family life, how public criticism can strain even strong marriages, and how love can survive despite constant pressure. At the same time, they also raise questions about influence, ethics, and the cost of living life in the public eye. When a news anchor becomes involved in legal trouble, political controversy, or corporate lawsuits, their partners often affected just as deeply, even if they never appear on screen. Some couples choose privacy as their strongest defense, rarely speaking about their personal lives and avoiding public drama. Others are more open, sharing their journeys, struggles, and successes with audiences who feel invested in their stories. Together, these relationships paint a broader picture of what life is really like behind one of the most powerful media networks in the world. They remind us that beyond the sharp words and polished suits are real people navigating marriage, parenting, loyalty, and change. Exploring the life partners of Fox News stars is not just about curiosity or surprise. It is about understanding how personal relationships intersect with fame, ideology, and influence. These stories help explain how some media figures remain grounded while others spiral into controversy, and why, in the end, the people they come home to may matter just as much as the millions who watch them on screen every day. For many Fox News personalities, their relationships have followed very different paths, shaped by ambition, public pressure, and personal choices made long before they ever became household names. Some anchors met their partners while still struggling to build careers, when life was simpler and fame was not yet a factor. These early relationships often grew stronger over time, grounded in shared history and mutual understanding. Couples like these tend to value privacy, choosing to keep their family lives quiet and separate from their professional identities. In contrast, other Fox News stars found love after achieving fame, which can bring its own challenges. Dating or marrying while constantly in the public, means every appearance, comment, or rumor can quickly become a headline. Even simple moments, such as attending an event together or traveling, can attract attention and speculation. For some couples, this spotlight creates tension, forcing them to carefully manage what they share with the public and what they keep private. In certain cases, relationships have directly overlapped with political power and influence, especially when partners are involved in law, business, or politics themselves. These connections can amplify public interest, as viewers and critics alike wonder how personal relationships may influence professional decisions. While some couples embrace this visibility, others struggle with it, especially when accusations, lawsuits, or scandals emerge. A partner who never signed up for a public life may suddenly find themselves judged, criticized, or even harassed because of their spouse's job. This pressure can place enormous strain on marriages and long-term relationships. Some couples have weathered these storms by standing firmly together, presenting a united front and refusing to let outside noise interfere with their private bond. Others have quietly drifted apart, realizing that the demands of a high-profile media career leave little room for a healthy personal life. Divorce and separation are not uncommon, and when they happen, they often become part of the news cycle, whether the individuals want that attention or not. Children are another major factor in these relationships. Raising a family while working in a nonstop media environment is difficult, especially when one parent is frequently criticized or targeted online. Many Fox News stars have spoken about how their partners help create a sense of normalcy at home, shielding children from public controversies and teaching them resilience. In several cases, spouses have stepped away from their own careers to focus on family life, allowing the anchor to maintain demanding work schedules. These sacrifices often go unnoticed by the public, yet they are central to how these relationships function. At the same time, not all partnerships fit a traditional mold. Some couples maintain long-distance relationships, living in different cities because of work obligations. Others blend families from previous marriages, navigating co-parenting while managing public scrutiny. Despite their differences, what connects these stories is a constant balancing act between public responsibility and private commitment. Fame can open doors, but it can also expose weaknesses, magnify mistakes, and test trust. Through loyalty, patience, and compromise, some Fox News couples have managed to build stable lives behind the scenes. Others serve as reminders that success in front of the camera does not guarantee happiness at home. Together, these stories show that relationships tied to powerful media platforms are complex, fragile, and deeply human, shaped not just by love, but by the extraordinary circumstances surrounding their lives. Among the many Fox News figures whose personal lives draw attention, long-term marriages often stand out, because they feel rare in an industry known for constant change and pressure. Some anchors have been with their partners for decades, having met long before politics became central to their lives. These relationships are often built on routine, trust, and a shared understanding of the sacrifices required by demanding careers. When one partner spends long hours on television, traveling for work, or dealing with public criticism, the other often becomes the emotional anchor of the household. This quiet support plays a huge role in helping media figures remain steady in such a high-stress environment. In many cases, spouses deliberately stay out of the spotlight, choosing private careers or roles that allow them to avoid media attention altogether. By doing so, they help create a boundary between work and home, offering a sense of normal life that contrasts sharply with the intensity of cable news. These couples often focus on family traditions, education, and shared values, using stability at home as a shield against the chaos of public life. However, even the strongest marriages are not immune to strain. Political commentary can be polarizing, and when a Fox News personality becomes involved in controversy, their partner may also face criticism simply by association. Friends, neighbors, and even extended family members may hold strong opinions, which can create awkward or painful situations. Some spouses learn to ignore the noise, while others struggle with the emotional toll of being constantly judged. In certain relationships, differences in political views or values can also create tension, especially when public positions clash with private beliefs. These disagreements may not always lead to separation, but they can add another layer of complexity to already demanding lives. At the same time, not all Fox News relationships are long established or quiet. Some have formed between colleagues or within political circles, making them especially interesting to the public. When two well-known figures come together, audiences often speculate about shared influence, career advantages, or behind-the-scenes dynamics. While such assumptions are not always fair, they highlight how closely personal and professional lives can blend in media environments. For these couples, maintaining credibility becomes especially important. They must work harder to show that their careers are based on merit rather than personal connections. This pressure can be exhausting, yet some manage it successfully by keeping clear professional boundaries and limiting public discussion of their private lives. Another common theme among Fox News couples is resilience in the face of public mistakes or backlash. When an anchor faces criticism for comments made on air, it is often their partner who helps them process the experience privately. These moments can either strengthen a relationship or reveal deep cracks, depending on how the couple handles stress. Some partners encourage reflection and growth, while others focus on protecting their loved ones from emotional harm. In families with children, parents often make extra efforts to separate public controversy from home life, teaching kids to understand criticism without internalizing it. This parenting challenge is unique to families living under public scrutiny and requires patience and careful communication. Over time, these experiences can bring couples closer together or push them apart. What becomes clear through these stories is that relationships connected to powerful media platforms are shaped by more than love alone. They are influenced by fame, pressure, ideology, and public judgment. Yet despite these challenges, many Fox News couples continue to build meaningful lives together, proving that even in the most intense professional environments, strong personal bonds can survive. Another important part of understanding the life partners of Fox News stars is recognizing how scandals and public controversies can deeply affect relationships, even when those controversies are not directly related to family life. Working at a major news network means living under constant observation, where mistakes, rumors, or legal disputes can quickly become national talking points. When this happens, the stress does not stay confined to the newsroom. It follows anchors and commentators home, shaping conversations with spouses and partners who must help carry the emotional weight. In many cases, these partners become the first line of defense, offering reassurance when public criticism grows loud or when social media turns hostile. For some couples, this shared experience strengthens their bond, creating a sense of unity against outside pressure. They learn to rely on each other, building trust through difficult moments. However, for others, repeated controversies can slowly wear down a relationship. Constant stress, fear of reputational damage, and uncertainty about the future can lead to emotional distance or conflict. Some spouses struggle with the idea that their family name is constantly tied to political battles or legal headlines, especially when children are involved. Explaining public accusations or negative press to young family members can be painful and confusing. This is why many Fox News couples place a strong emphasis on privacy at home. They may limit social media use, avoid discussing work outside the house, or choose to live in quieter communities away from media hubs. These choices are often made together, reflecting a shared desire to protect family life from outside influence. Another challenge these couples face is the blurred line between public accountability and personal judgment. Viewers often form strong opinions about Fox News personalities based on their on-air comments, sometimes extending those judgments to their partners. This can feel unfair to spouses who have no direct role in the content being broadcast. Despite this, many partners stand by their loved ones, understanding that public perception does not always reflect private reality. Some even become more active supporters, attending events, offering strategic advice, or helping manage public image behind the scenes. In contrast, other partners prefer complete distance from the media world, focusing instead on careers in business, education, healthcare, or family care. These differences show that there is no single model for how relationships function in high-profile media environments. Long-distance arrangements are another reality for many Fox News couples. With studios located in major cities and assignments requiring frequent travel, some partners live apart during the week and reunite on weekends. While challenging, these arrangements can work when communication and trust are strong. Technology helps bridge the gap, but emotional effort is still required to maintain closeness. In addition, many Fox News stars and their partners must navigate blended families, especially after divorce or remarriage. Co-parenting while managing public scrutiny adds another layer of complexity, requiring maturity and cooperation from all involved. Through all these situations, one theme remains consistent: adaptability. Successful relationships in this environment depend on flexibility, patience, and a willingness to grow together. Partners often learn to redefine success, focusing less on public approval and more on personal well-being. They celebrate small victories, such as quiet family moments or shared milestones, as a way to stay grounded. These stories remind us that behind every public figure is a private life shaped by choices, compromises, and emotional labor. While viewers may focus on headlines and on-air moments, the real work of sustaining relationships happens far from the cameras. In understanding these partnerships, we gain a clearer picture of the human cost of fame and the quiet strength required to maintain love and stability in such a demanding world. As we look more closely at the partners of Fox News stars, it becomes clear that many of these relationships play an important role in shaping how these media figures handle success, criticism, and long-term careers. A supportive partner can act as a grounding force, reminding an anchor or commentator of life beyond ratings, headlines, and political battles. For some Fox News personalities, their partners help them stay emotionally balanced, offering honest feedback that may be missing in a professional environment filled with praise, pressure, and competition. These private conversations can influence how a person grows, react to criticism, or even decides when it is time to step away from a role. In this way, life partners often become silent contributors to a media career, even though they receive little recognition from the public. Many spouses take on a role of emotional caretaker, especially during periods of intense backlash or uncertainty. When public opinion turns harsh, it is often at home where Fox News figures process doubt, frustration, or fear. A partner who listens patiently and provides reassurance can help prevent burnout and emotional isolation. This support is especially important in an industry where showing vulnerability on air is often discouraged. At the same time, these relationships are not without imbalance. In some cases, one partner's career completely dominates the household, leaving the other to adjust their own ambitions. Some spouses pause or abandon professional goals to manage family life, move cities, or provide stability for children. While this choice can strengthen a family,